Cyril Ramaphosa and Cabinet members are on a two-day visit to Gauteng. The President has proposed a provincial task team to fix Johannesburg. This visit started yesterday, sort of doing a province-wide focus, and today he's focusing on the metro municipality. He's also said he's disappointed with the state of Gauteng and its municipalities. Political analyst Dr Levy Ndou joins us now from the Tshwane University of Technology for some analysis. Dr Ndou, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for coming on. Are you surprised as well, given that the President is a resident of Johannesburg, that he is so surprised by the state of disrepair in the province and in the metro municipality?
Good afternoon, Michelle. Good afternoon to the viewers at home. This is a confirmation by the highest office in the Republic that things are not going on right in the metro. It is also a confirmation that there is an acknowledgement on the part of the metro and the other levels of government that things are not right. And that is why they have to come up with this kind of intervention. This is what should have happened a long time ago. And if you listen to the mayor, he speaks about structural challenges, he speaks about financial challenges, he speaks also about governance challenges, which has got a potential to negatively affect service delivery. And of course, when you have got a metro or a municipality that has got challenges with service delivery, which is at the heart of the responsibility, indeed an intervention would be necessary.
So then why do the step of doing a presidential sort of oversight body, Dr Ndou, instead of doing what has happened in other municipalities that have experienced the same, maybe not even the same kind of issues, less bad issues than Johannesburg? I mean, the city council couldn't even pass the budget last week, which just goes to show the state of the leadership that's taking place in the city. Why not put it under administration then?
I think that is another area of concern that most people are actually asking themselves. And of course, it could also create perceptions that maybe they are not putting the metro under administration because of political reasons. But of course, these are kinds of interventions that we've seen happening in other metros, like in eThekwini, for an example. But my sense is that even though you can opt for an administration or opt for a reinforcement, because I see this as reinforcement and extra monitoring exercise on the part of higher offices to the metro, maybe they could have realized that it might not be the right time to put the city under administration and come with this kind of interventions. My view is that it is not just the challenge of the city, because even the other layers of government could be part of the challenge, and maybe that is why they want to create a committee to be able to address the challenges in the city. But most of the problems that the city could be facing are also challenges that other spheres of government could intervene and assist the city in dealing with them. Yeah. For an example, there is a lot of population growth in the city, which has to be properly managed by the city and other layers of government. And of course, there are issues that relate to simple things that the city has to do. And that's why most people will ask, why not the administration? Bylaws, maintenance of infrastructure, which is the competency of the city. And unfortunately, that appears to be the big challenge when we look at the city not being able to provide such.
Dr Ndou, so what exactly does this mean, a presidential working group? What does it mean in practical terms?
It's actually an overall of the activities of the city. It means that the presidency is bringing in a team that has to work very closely with the city, and they must therefore be able to sit down, identify challenges that the city is coming across, come up with priorities, put resources together, and ensure that they are able to address such issues. Some of the challenges have been indicated already by the mayor himself, talking about structural issues, budgets, and the inability to perform some of the basic tasks. And I think this team is going to come in, provide reinforcement, provide resources as well, so that the city can still be able to stand on its feet.
Yeah, this visit, perhaps long overdue, but some of the statements in the build-up to the president's oversight visit alongside some members of his cabinet, Dr. Ndou, there was a lot of focus on getting the city ready for the G20, which is happening in November. And I wonder, to your mind, what kind of message that sends to residents of Johannesburg and of the province as a whole, who are in many cases being double taxed for things like security. Residents are fixing potholes themselves. They're trying to get around all of the gaps in service delivery in the ways that they can. And such a big focus on getting the city up to scratch for the purposes of hosting the G20.
This would send mixed messages to the city, to the citizens of the city. Some would say maybe the city is going to go back to its original glory because of this kind of an intervention. Others are only going to see it as a project that is only intended at fixing what they can fix now, because there is a G20 activity that has to take place in the city. If they do not have a plan beyond the G20 activities, we must still see the city going back to the state where it is right now. My view is that they need to develop long-term plans for the city so that they are able to ensure that the citizens of the city are happy about the state of the city, but also that the city would be able to collect the revenue that is much needed to be able to provide services that are required by the citizens.
Yeah, and that's what we learned from the elections last year, wasn't it, Dr. Ndou? That people vote, alongside, perhaps not alongside, I forget the word I'm looking for now, but it's not about historical voting anymore, right? We learned that. It's not about being... Anyway, let me just try to finish my thought. But we don't vote alongside our histories and our families. Essentially, we now vote for whoever we think can get the job done, right? Would you agree with that, Dr. Ndou? And how does that impact us going into local government elections next year?
Michelle, you are right. Citizens vote now on the basis of what those that are in power are doing. If you are given the responsibility to run the city, when the next elections come, people sit down and assess your performance in the city. So the same is going to be the case with those that are given the responsibility to run these metros. If they deliver, citizens are going to give them their vote. But if they fail, obviously, citizens will have to look for other options. So this is a challenge to those that are running these metros, that they need to ensure that they deliver, because they know that lack of deliverance would discourage voters to vote for them again.
Certainly. Dr. Levy Ndou, let me thank you for your time this afternoon. Dr. Ndou is a political analyst with the Tshwane University of Technology, as we unpack the president's two-day visit to Gauteng and to the Johannesburg Metro Municipality.